Daily Top Reddit for Wednesday, 2023 July 26th. In r/Damnthatsinteresting, this is the clearest image ever taken on the surface of Venus. I believe there is also an audio that comes with this image. Venus surface sounds. The conditions here are so inhospitable that the probe survived for something like 60-minute. Planned survival time was 30 min, but still, despite being built like a tank with advanced cooling systems and whatnot. In r/TrueUnpopularOpinion, the general public shouldn't have to deal with the homeless. Every month, I donate food and toiletries to the local homeless shelter. When I can, I will volunteer for the local food pantry. I understand the homeless crisis needs to be addressed. That being said, I don't think the general public should have to deal with the burdens the homeless put on society. I can't bring my kids to the park or library anymore. The park is littered with needles and garbage, and homeless wander around like the Walking Dead. They congregate at the public library and harass people at the entrance. The smell is unbearable inside, and they recently arrested a homeless person for looking up CP on the computers. My father owns a storefront, and he has to pick up human shit daily from the front steps. It's seriously harming his business. I tried to take my daughter on the bus because she loves trucks, vans, and buses, and some crazy woman had her legs spread and was telling strangers to suck this pussy. I could go on and on. I think there is a false narrative that every homeless person is a hardworking parent who lost their job and didn't make rent, or that every drug addict was in an accident and are now addicted to pills or heroin. That's not what I see daily. Yes, I'm sure there are some where that's the case, but let's not pretend it's everyone. Yes, the single parents and down to their luck need help, but the serious drug addicts and mentally ill need to be off the street. You're not going to give the guy wiping his ass like a dog on the street a home and have him magically start paying taxes and contribute to society. It's fucked up that my kids and elderly parents have to deal with this every day. We can't even use the services our taxes pay for because they are flooded with homeless. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you have to act like an animal. I have sympathy for them. I really do. Like I said, I do my small part to help, but I'm trying to raise kids and I don't have the time to solve all these problems. Reddit makes it out like you're some villain because you don't want to kiss the ass of the homeless population. Your sympathy just breaks down over time. In there, I would say 30 to 40% of patients are homeless and they're cause they're drunk, high, or aggressive in public. There's only so much staff can do. It burns one out really quickly. In r/facepalm, for fuck's sake. Gas BBC News Africa VV News at BBC Africa. Killing of 5 bald men in Mozambique is linked to a new superstitious belief that bald men have gold in their head. bb.in/2s55ptc. Why are we still doing this? The last 4 guys didn't have any gold in his head. You know damn well 4 attempts isn't enough to satisfy the scientific method. Now pass me the fucking hammer or I'll expand the criteria to slightly balding. 4 is too small sample size to make a scientifically valid conclusion. Maybe they weren't really bald, but just shaved their heads this morning. Maybe gold takes a while to accumulate. Perhaps it's something else that we haven't even thought of. You need to be meticulous with highly promising theories like this. We'll need a few thousands more bald heads to crack. In r/ask, as a non-smoker, does every smoker smell bad to you? Is it just me or everyone? I hate the smell of smoking and sonkers. My grandmother is a smoker and she smells like smoke almost every day, and even the things in her room smell of smoke. She once gave me a birthday present, PJ bottoms, and I had to wash them a few times to get the smell out, but she is still the best. In r/nextfuckinglevel, didn't pay the scaffolding company, they did this.
You haven't paid the money, mate. No, you haven't paid.
I paid you money. I paid you money. My missus called me and told me you'd done this. I was like, are you joking? I'm such a good crack. Look at this.
Listen, mate, all you have to do is pay that
You
invoice.
guys got better things to do.
Well, we have, mate, yeah, but unfortunately, we've got to come and do this for like you.
Make you scratch the top.
No scratches on it.
Mate, we're going to take this off. She's got to go get the kids.
Well, you better hurry up and pay them, mate.
Mate, I paid you.
You haven't paid.
I paid you. Have you even checked your
I
account?
have triple checked the account, mate. It's not in there. We've been back and forwards for the last 3 weeks over this.
Listen, regardless, you're trespassing. You're trespassing. You shouldn't have this equipment on my land.
Go in the police then, mate. Go in the police.
Oh, alright. Don't even in the police on you. Alright, fine. Alright. Right, you gotta get this off. You're trespassing. You shouldn't have this equipment on here without my permission. So you better get it on.
Who said, mate?
That's what the police just said.
Well, they better come out here and move us then, because we ain't going anywhere.
Mate, my missus needs to go.
Listen, mate, all you've got to do
How long
is
is
pay
this going
that
to take you to
invoice.
get it off?
It won't take long, mate. Just pay the money and we'll go. Simple as that, mate. Could have done this weeks ago.
I paid this money, mate.
You
I paid
haven't,
this money.
mate.
You know what? $4.50.
Yeah. That's the one, mate.
This is just ridiculous. Listen, I don't even know how you've got time.
We haven't, mate.
I don't know how you've got time.
That's the sad thing about it. We haven't got time to mess around with people like you, mate. I'm sick to death of people
Right,
not
you
paying.
said, get it done.
Thanks,
You've got the
mate.
money now. Go on, right.
Go on then, lads. Just stick it down.
My wise electrician friend told me once, never pick a fight with a scaffolder. Mofo's 9 to 5 is shifting metal poles by hand. In r/damn that's interesting, female reporter pinches the bums of men in 1971.
Excuse me, sir, how do you feel about women pinching men's bottoms in the street?
I regret to say it's never happened to me before.
Never? Hello, sir, how do you feel about ladies picking gentlemen up in the street?
Pardon?
How do you feel about ladies picking gentlemen up in the streets?
Well, I always do myself. Oh, I see.
Do you think it's a nice idea if ladies molest gentlemen in the streets? Instead of the other way around for a change?
It's refreshing, if nothing else.
Hello, sir, how do you feel about the complete equality of the sexes?
Do what?
Complete equality of the sexes.
No.
Oh, I just pinched your bottom. Did you like that?
Good God, you frightened the life out of me.
I mean, I just pinched your bottom. Now, do you think that's wrong?
I do.
Quite refreshing if nothing else. In r/facepalm, she forgave herself. What's his problem? Lol. Egg 6 brown chicks at 6 brown chicks Q4. My baby Denny got promoted, so I appealed for more child support. He ordered a DNA test, and my son failed. He put the results in my mailbox. I forgave myself for cheating, but he's being petty. He's been my son's dad for 8 years. Why ghost my child now? How to fix it? Hashtag SBCCHAT 11:26 p.m. 06 September 22nd. Twitter for iPhone 137 retweets, 836 quote tweets, 180 likes. Your son didn't fail. You did. In r/UFOs, Megathread Congressional hearing on UAP July 26, 2023, featuring witnesses Ryan Graves, David Fravor, David Grusch. The Congressional Committee on Oversight and Accountability is conducting a hearing to investigate the claims made by former intelligence officer and whistleblower David Grusch. Grusch has asserted that the USG is in possession of craft created by non-human intelligence, and that there have been retrieval programs hidden away in compartmentalized programs. Replay link of the hearing, u2.b link. Credit to you, Azovier, for the link and timestamp of the start of the hearing. News Nation stream with commentary from Ross Coulthard, newsnationnow.com link. YouTube livestream that should work for those outside the US too, youtube.com link. App reddit.com link and UTM_medium equals iOS_app and UTM_name equals IOCSS and UTM_content equals to and UTM_term equals 1. Here are 3 more official sites to check for live streaming. Live.house.gov link. c-span.org link. Oversight.house.gov link. Congressional hearing witnesses. Ryan Graves, Executive Director, Americans for Safe Aerospace. at Commander David Fravor, former commanding officer, Black Aces Squadron, U.S. Navy. David Grusch, former National Reconnaissance Officer Representative, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force, Department of Defense. As a Brit, this is the first time I have heard AOC actually speak. Why does she get so much hate? She's literally been the most coherent and direct person to speak so far. It's a genuine breath of fresh air. Edit. Enlightening replies, particularly given that the Dems would probably be right-wing if they were a UK party. Yes, the UK is a shithole too. Stop typing. She's a woman Democrat. It's as simple as that. In r/world news, ex-Rebrand gets Twitter blocked under Indonesia porn laws. If porn is illegal, their Twitter should probably already have been banned. In r/humans being brothers, Margot Robbie shows a deaf and Auslan sign language.
Wait. For me, I know it. I can't wait. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. LMNOPQRST.
I learned some sign language in Gate as a kid, and eventually I had a deaf woman come through my gas station. I signed the letters for receipt, asking her if she needed one, and her eyes lit up, and I got a big grin. Never gonna forget that interaction. In r/ask Reddit, if you had to marry the first person you slept with, how different would your life be? Given that the first woman I slept with is now a lesbian, I'd either be someone's beard or, more likely, still trying to recover from a divorce. In r/place, claim your I was here ticket. Reek made with Mamatic. Who are we fucking? Spiz. In r/white people Twitter, we're fucked, aren't we? Falthings insurance companies quietly abandoning everyone should be sending 5 alarm fire bells 7:32 a.m. to July 25, 23 from Earth 60.4K. If you see a bunch of rats running the same way, you should probably think about going that way also. In r/politics, most young people are no longer proud to be Americans. Poll finds. The fact we're even having a debate on whether someone that's under multiple serious criminal indictments should be president says it all. In r/memes, it's the perfect opportunity. Enjoying the chaos and confusion unfold. In r/funny memes, you are not the father. Random line from a TV show that fans of it instantly know. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. You bastards. In r/news, Sinead O'Connor dies aged 56. Sad, just over a year after losing her 17-year-old son to suicide. In r/white people Twitter, why do they regardless of party refuse to retire? Garbage ape at garbage heap being governed by an oligarchy of hospice patients rules 3 Ken Klippenstein at Ken Klippenstein. 12 meters Mitch McConnell inexplicably freezes during press conference. Is quickly escorted away. Not only did Mitch act like one of the dementia-suffering people in the home I do volunteer work in, His staffer got him out of that situation the exact way we are taught to get people with dementia out of that state. I'm not one for tinfoiling my hat, but that really stood out to me. Edit, you Akron 47 pointed out that was not a staffer, but Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, who apparently was an MD. I did not know him prior to this, but apparently he is someone likely to succeed McConnell. In r/ask Reddit, NSFW, what is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? Making those websites that count down to, usually female, celebrities turning 18. In r/politics, Mitch McConnell escorted away from cameras after freezing mid-press conference. He was slurring his words right before. In r/white people Twitter, extremely based. What Brooklyn Dad defined, at MMPADLLA, and I'll tell you this, none of us like Mitch McConnell because of the horrible things he said and done as senator. But he had a medical incident today. And he saw a lot of well-wishers on our side. As it should be, but when Senator John Fetterman had a medical episode, there were legions of Republicans who made fun and mocked him. We are not the same. Look, my current reason for living is outlasting Mitch McConnell, and I'm just 38. He needs to last a few more years while I go to therapy. In r/place, final global leaderboard. The global leaderboard reflects the pixels placed by each Redditor's country determined by their IP address. In r/mildly infuriating, my husband thinks this pizza isn't burnt. Someone come save pregnant me. He said it's not burnt because it isn't charcoal. I'd still eat it. The bottom is important. In r/ask Reddit, where did you lose your virginity? In the back of a GMC Jimmy parked in a McDonald's parking lot. Went and got a snack wrap right after. In r/wholesome memes, legen, wait for it, dairy. Just learned from my mom that my brother is contributing so heavily to chocolate milk sales at the local supermarket that they've requested to be notified when he leaves for college so that they don't overstock. Reminds me of when I worked backstage for musicals in high school. I would buy 2 packs of Skittles from concession for every show and eat one over the course of each act. Week 2 of doing this, I go out before the show and they're out of Skittles. Then they pull out a new box and say, we knew you were coming, so we got more just for you. In r/public freakout, Mitch McConnell begins presser, then suddenly stops for 20 seconds and appears to be unable to continue speaking before being escorted away by Republicans.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Okay, go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take that. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
For the love of God, get these people out of government. He's 81. The president is 80. We've got members of Congress that are 89 years old and one that's 90. In r/white people Twitter, there are countless Americans who have suffered and died needlessly because of Mitch McConnell. This stain wouldn't bat an eye at anyone suffering and couldn't afford insurance, or procedures, or medication. In fact, he's made a career of it since before I was born. Helps and prayers, asshole. In r/white people Twitter, excellent question. Devin Ducat Sir Ducat Devin front row of a Trump rally. What do you see? The woman on the front left is Robin Zero. Robin is the daughter of Jane Whaley, who is the founder of a cult-like church called Word of Faith Fellowship in Spindale, NC. This cult-like group has been accused of numerous crimes, including human trafficking 3. The woman directly behind her to the left is Brooke One, a minister at Word of Faith Fellowship who has been accused of beating a gay man named Matthew Finner too. There are a few other members of WOF in this photo. They can be found in photos at the front of multiple Trump rallies. Here they are, this time with Jane Whaley, founder of the group. In blue on the left, usatoday.com link and Heidequalscher 151 and Phytekel scrap and Formatekels JPG and auto equals WEBP4. Front right of that photo is a pastor named Lee Valentine 5, ex-wife of popular televangelist Robert Tilton 6. You may know him from a John Oliver segment. Here is the same group at CPAC. After Trump gave them a special shout-out and made a joke about their husbands being jealous about how much they love him. imgur.com link. Lee loves hanging out with political folks and the wackos. Lee Valentine gives opening prayer at the Hickory, NC Trump rally. Twitter.com link. Mark Meadows and Lee Valentine. imgur.com link. Roger Stone and Lee Valentine. imgur.com link. Kellyanne Conway and Lee Valentine. imgur.com link. Lee Valentine at Trump rally. imgur.com link. My Pillow Guy and Lee Valentine. imgur.com link. The grift runs deep here. 0 wordoffaithfellowship.org link. 1 wordoffaithfellowship.org link. 1-to-1 wordoffaithfellowship.org link. To seattletimes.com link. 3appnews.com link. For usatoday.com link. 5valentinespa.com link. 6miaminewtimes.com link. Another cult. This has got to be like the 3rd or 4th one that are regulars at Trump rallies. Are they using it as an advertising opportunity like the gods to people? In r/mildly infuriating German here. I was in San Francisco recently, and this feels outrageously expensive compared to German drugstore prices. Especially $8.99 for sunscreen. Groceries were like that too. Are these normal prices in the US? A couple of things about this. 1, prices are always higher in big cities. CA has extra charge for things like plastic bags and whatever that CA redemption value is assuming that's for the plastic nice bottle. 3, buying stuff like this at a drugstore is always more expensive than going to a store like Walmart or Target like someone else said. $8.99 for sunscreen is expensive compared to what I would expect to pay elsewhere. In r/MID asshole, IITA for blocking a man after he bought me a $500 plus dinner. I was invited on a date and he asked me, what's your favorite restaurant? My honest answer was my favorite place is a bit much for a first date, but I did still tell him about it because, well, I thought he was cool and I truly love the place, so I tell everyone about so they'll go. I want them to stay booked and busy so they'll stay open so I can keep going. I said that for a first date we could go somewhere more casual like this cool Mexican spot between us that has over 300 tequilas in their tequila library, but is still pretty cheap when it comes to food. Amazing tacos with handmade tortillas. But ultimately, he wanted to pick. I was trying to be helpful and make suggestions. Also, we live in different parts of a big city with terrible traffic that's extremely car dependent. My favorite restaurant, on the other hand, is about $500 for 2. I take myself there sometimes after personal accomplishments or just for a treat. Sometimes I go just to have one of their James Beard award-winning cocktails, lol bougie if I know, and some apps. Well, this gentleman, upon researching the menu, decides this is where he wants to take me for dinner. He really wanted to try it out. Of course, I agree. Despite the price point, it's actually a pretty chill spot, don't have to dress up, and is a great date spot, even a first date spot. If you're in a different tax bracket than me, but as much as I knew, he could be. For me, first dates are usually inexpensive, considering you don't know the person and the conversation is much more important than the meal. We have apps, we have drinks, we have dinner, we have conversation, we have dessert, we have a good time from my perspective. This means we ran up a serious bill. Pay time comes, we do the check dance, sort of. Of course, since it's a first date, I say separate checks. Not that I don't pay on subsequent dates. I just mean that first time when you don't know if a guy thinks if a woman pays, that means she's uninterested. He also says separate checks, so cool. We're on the same page, basically at the same time, as in our words overlapped. I won't lie, I hesitated and said it after he was saying it, because he asked me out and also insisted we went there after he read the menu and really wanted to try the food. I really want to describe menu items, but it's one of those places that's so specific, and also the chef uses what's local and in season, so I'd kind of be revealing too much info. So our separate checks come. No problem by me. I put my card down. He puts his down. When our server comes back to grab them, he takes my card, gives her both the checks, says he'd covering it all, looks at my card intensely. It's not that I think he's some numbers savant where he was stealing my info by looking at my card, though I have bartended for years and a dumbass genius who worked with me could memorize card numbers at a glance and then use them for online purchases till he finally got a felony. And it wasn't even his little comment of, "Oh, now I finally know your last name," which I of course wouldn't tell him before. It was the game he played. He invited me on a date, so I assumed he was paying. He then said separate checks, making sure I knew I was paying for myself. Then he grabbed the checks and paid it, all annoying the server and me. I'm feeling like this was a shit test to see if I would pony up to a $250 plus each restaurant bill. I felt like he was checking to see if I was a gold digger or something, even though I'd literally told him we shouldn't go there the first date. The place I suggested we could have had tacos and tequila flights for less than $50. So, after I said thank you for dinner, I got in my Uber, left, blocked him. I told one of my friends this story today laughing, and they told me I was actually the villain in the story. I'm just not into shittest or games. AITA. Edit. To be clear, the core issue I was freaking out about was him looking at my card and exclaiming with victory that he knows my last name. He'd actually asked my last name before, and I explained that I'm a former bartender and having such a public-facing job led to me being stalked, police involved. EDC, so I wasn't comfortable sharing that so quickly. I feel like everyone is caught up on the cost of dinner, including my friend who I've actually bought dinner for at this spot before, and not the fact that a man read my private information, regardless of whether I'd asked him not to. Edit. I tipped. I insisted, but y'all made me feel like I should Venmo him, so I did. And no, I didn't expect him to pay. I hesitated because it's the South, and if you're too eager to pay, often a man will feel you don't like him at all. It's a culture thing. Also, I'm a marketer and he's a teacher, so the idea that I'm a gold digger is wild to me. I could care less about a man's income as long as he's educated, whether formal or not, driven and passionate. To be honest, my ideal date maybe not first, but in general is microdosing shrooms in a park, people watching, and eating various snack foods. Cheap as fuck, but if you ask me my favorite restaurant while getting to know me, I'm going to tell the truth. I didn't just suggest the Mexican place, but also why was it solely my burden to decide where we went? Whatever, I have learned from some of y'all. And I can see how I may have just misread someone awkward. I'd also still prefer to date someone who isn't oblivious to the fact that women are cautious with their personal info for a reason. Last edit, he picked up my card and stared at it. It wasn't just a glance. My username is just Veruca Salt reference. Way too many people have seen this, and now I feel weird. Thanks for sharing with me all of your thoughts and perspectives. Except you National-Village 2363 who hopes I live in regret and misery for the remainder of my time on Earth. I hope you don't. I hope you find a happiness that will allow you to no longer desire to be hateful to strangers you disagree with. He shit-tested you. He saw that on YouTube. As many other men these days, I'm male. Don't hate me for saying this. In r/today I learned till playing just one day in the MLB gives players lifetime healthcare coverage while 43 days secures them an annual $34,000 pension. If anyone's wondering, yes, the pension increases with the amount of time spent on an active roster. After 10 years, players will get the maximum to $130,000. In r/place, our place full Timelapse 2023. This really puts into perspective how large this year's canvas got. In r/no stupid questions, my closest friend of 40 years has blocked me from any and all contact with her. To preface, she and I have been through a lot together and she's had my back forever, but she's a Republican and I'm a Democrat. After going toe-to-toe a few years ago, we agreed not to talk politics, though she would throw some shady comments in now and again, which I wouldn't acknowledge. At one of our last lunches together, which was over a year ago, she teased me for wearing a mask. She also says she believes she never had breast cancer. She went through a lumpectomy and chemo and has been in remission for 5 years, yet still states she never had cancer. Once I realized she blocked me, I tried to contact her and even went to her house, as this relationship is too valuable to just drop without an explanation. She didn't answer the door. I put a note in her door. Nothing. I've asked a couple of friends close to us who, while they are still friends with both of us, do not want to get involved. I grieved about this for 2 months, then finally came to the conclusion that she has her reasons. At our last lunch together over a year ago, I told her when she has time to call me and we'll do lunch. Since it's been a year and I hadn't heard, I reached out. Nothing. I'm still hurt and confused and honestly a bit worried about her. Has this happened to anyone else? Not me, my wife, and not over politics, but yes. A longtime friend of my wife stops talking to her because I didn't let him take advantage of us. He basically tried to con my wife into buying a $10,000 car that needed a ton of repairs. I told him I was going to take it to a mechanic, and when I did and the mechanic recommended not buying it, he got all sorts of defensive and just stopped talking to her. Took her a good year to get over it. I supported her and kept telling her he's the one who tried to cheat us. *U** should be upset, not him. But it still took a long time to get over the loss of friendship. In r/damn that's interesting, this 7.8 inches 20 centimeters stone object was found in the Hohle Fels Cave near Ulm in the Swabian Jura. The prehistoric tool dates back 28,000 years. In case anyone is still none the wiser as to where this was found, the Swabian Jura is a mountain range in Germany. In r/facepalm, do you consider this a human being? This post is so old that the pig is already bacon somewhere. In r/damn that's interesting, every morning in Frankfurt, Germany, you might catch a glimpse of Jenny, a horse who goes on a long walk every morning, all by herself. Removed. Sadly, Jenny contracted skin cancer and had to be put down in March of 2022. She was 26 years old. She would take long walks and wore a halter that said in German, "My name is Jenny. I have not escaped, just taking a walk." In r/white people Twitter, the cons never win the popular vote. At Southern Sister Resist, at r/16 hours goodbye Republicans, your damn days are numbered. #freshvotesblue equals 8 MB Barre. AITA Novena X's on 1930 to 124,419 Kickle 3028K and. For those saying that the supermajority will not vote, you are probably correct. However, Gen Z turnout is better than previous generations, and 3+ million silent and boomer generation voters will die, and I assure you that they will not vote. The candle is burning from both ends. Edit. Yes, dead people don't vote. The alive crazies will always try to cheat by using the recent deceased registration. It doesn't happen in super large numbers, but every bit counts in swing states. In r/ there was an attempt to safely make a video. That was an epic throw though. In r/ old school cool, my grandparents the night they met 1970. That look never gets old. In r/ white people Twitter, every accusation is a confession. Greater than Don Winslow at a Don Winslow Trump flew on Epstein's Lolita Express 7 times. New Maxwell trial docs show the -sun.com Trump flew on Epstein's Lolita Express 7 times. New Maxwell trial docs show. Wasn't Don Jr. saying we should investigate people who flew with Epstein? To be fair, he was coked up massively at the time. In r/world news, the Russians packed hundreds of vehicles into a Crimean repair depot. The Ukrainians just hit it with a cruise missile. So the good news is we don't need to repair the vehicles anymore. In r/ oddly satisfying, how Japanese train workers assist disabled passengers. Sydney trains do this too. In r/no stupid questions, what am I supposed to answer when an American asks me how I'm doing? I started working at a reception in a hotel where people from all around the world are coming to stay. Most of the Americans say something like hi, how are you, when coming to check in, and I can tell it's just a line they are used to say, but I don't know how to reply to that. Am I supposed to answer that? Reply with the same question, ignore it, and just continue the conversation as if they didn't say it. What are the rules of this pre-talk? Help me feel less awkward in these situations, please. Edit, I come from the Czech Republic, now live in Iceland. Edit 2, this is not a hate on Americans. I meet people from all around the world every day and 99% of the interactions I have are super nice. Edit 3, thank you all for your inputs. I know that to many this question might sound strange, so I am thankful for your honest answers. I actually learned some very interesting things from your comments. If you think I am dumb, I get it. What is so difficult about dealing with such a simple thing as a rhetorical question in a greeting, right? Well, I don't fine, of course. I am good with people and interacting with them most of the times. At least I think. The thing is, the question, which is kinda intimate and in my language it's used just for the people you know and want to chat with, was in the contraception with the tone and attitude in which it was said don't really care. So it was confusing. I tried to shortly answer something witty and truthful, and I got a surprised Pikachu face. Then I learned to just say great, can I help you with something? Which felt much safer, but I still wasn't confident if I didn't broke some kind of protocol by not asking back. So I was just curious what the Americans think, so I can learn a phrase of which I can be sure isn't weird for them. And TBH, I was just curious in general about this. I know it's not interesting for most of you since it's like the most normal thing ever, but for me it's very. Edit 4, we have a lot of guests from Germany, France, Italy, Japan, Austria, Great Britain, China, of course Iceland, you name it. It really is just the Americans asking the question automatically in a greeting like this. I'm doing well, how about you? There are so many fun and interesting possible answers to how are you doing, but this is the best one if you're in a customer-facing position dealing with many people every day. The how about you on the end is also customary, just like their original question, and it doesn't require a meaningful response from them, however. You may get one anyway depending on who they are. So beware, some people will use this frivolous exchange as a setup for corny jokes. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? Oh, I could complain, but who would listen? How? Or the exchange may feel superficial at first, but you get a person who, after you reply with I'm doing well, how about you, proceeds to tell you the detailed version of the last 72 hours of their life story, especially if they've been traveling. If you want to shave a few seconds off the interaction, for example, if you can tell they're in a hurry and rushing, or you're in a hurry, or you just get a sense that you want to close the door on any further banter with this person, you can use the first half of this response, but cut off the second half and replace with a prompt for them. Like, how are you doing? I'm doing well. How can I help you? That is very acceptable and puts customer service first. Good luck. In r/to hot takes, my boyfriend doesn't give a f *ck. Sorry about the title ick, what else to put? It's currently 3 a.m. and I 19f can't sleep. I just got off the phone with my boyfriend 18 meters and my stomach is kind of in knots. We were talking about politics, which is normally a topic he likes to avoid, but I like picking people's brains, so I talked him into it. Bad idea in hindsight. I knew he's become a bit more conservative than he was when we started dating 2 years ago, but tonight it really hit me that he's more than a bit conservative. It started off relatively innocent enough, talking about the presidential election and so on. It later progressed to abortion and LGBT issues. He's basically pro-choice, but if I ever got pregnant with his kid and got rid of it, it would be a problem. Then it progressed to him supporting anti-trans laws, the Don't Say Gay bill, drag ban, etc. I feel like I talked a little bit of sense into him though. Before we got off the phone, he asked if him voting for someone I didn't like would ever be a problem. I told him only if they plan on infringing on people's rights, which he then asked what I meant by that. I said, for example, if you vote for someone that wanted to get rid of gay marriage or something like that. It would have to be a conversation. He got defensive saying if he agrees with everything else they say and wants to vote for them, he can. I said, yeah, and I understand that, but they still want to take away someone's rights. Which isn't okay. He said that if that ever happened, he would break up with me because no one is going to control what I think or do. I tried using a more personal example to get him to understand. I'm Native American, Lakota raised, but Choctaw registered. So I said, okay, what if you agreed with someone on everything? But they wanted to revoke reservation status from every tribe and take back res land. An extreme example, I know, but I wanted him to understand. He said if he agrees with everything else, it doesn't matter. It kind of broke my heart. It made me feel like he doesn't care for me. I was so stunned I just sat there with my phone in my hand. He asked if there was anything else I wanted to talk about. I told him that threw me for a loop. We sat there with more quiet. He again asked if there was anything else I needed to talk about. I just said again I was thrown for a loop. He said he had to be up in the morning, so he had to go. We said our I love yous, and that was it. When we started dating, he loved hearing about my native culture and believed in LGBT rights. What happened? If he just drastically changed, or if I was just duped. Typing this now. I'm realizing there's been other things this past year that really hurt me and I just pushed it aside. I don't want to let him go. I know he's kind and he's shown me so many times, but some things concerning my native culture have caused problems this past year. It just really fucking hurts. Maybe it's my fault for making it personal and I'm overreacting. Edit. I laid here for hours wondering why I posted this. But I think I just needed to feel like I wasn't crazy or make sure I wasn't just causing problems. This just kind of solidified in my head that there's a good possibility he might not be the one that I need. As sweetly as he's treated me, there are some things I won't share on here that were pretty harmful to my mental health. I'm still going to get some sleep for good measure before I talk to him. Just for clarification, it's not just about the voting thing, at least not for me. The thing is that he said hurtful things about my culture and about LGBT people. I am bi BTW and somehow he's gotten it in his head that it's just me being quirky, even though he knows I've kissed and talked to girls before we dated. Edit 2. BC, a lot of people are confused. He called me at midnight to talk. When I said pick his brain, I meant I wanted to find out what was going on up there, not start an argument. It wasn't an argument. No one was yelling or taking personal shots at the other. We hung up around too. Edit 3. I did not expect this to blow up the way it did, but it was a civil discussion and I didn't get upset until the last part. It has felt like he looks down on me for my native culture and bisexuality. He said that he wants a good Christian wife, and I am Christian to a certain degree. I would want to raise kids in church as long as it was one we both liked and one that didn't degrade my culture. I would want a healthy blend and for kids to feel free to believe in whatever they want when they are older. He has said that he wouldn't want kids around that kind of stuff in reference to my Lakota beliefs, which I have explained to him since. But when I talk about it at his house in front of his mom, she calls certain things evil and familiar spirits. When she's done this, he has sometimes joined in. His response to my question worried me, especially BC native rights, tribal status, and land have been threatened in the past few years. He didn't want to go with me and my family to a powwow BC. He said it would have bad energy and other things like that. I talked to my dad, white guy, and asked how my mom got him to go to one with her. He said he wanted to and I started crying and told him what happened. He said he would talk to my BF and he ended up agreeing to go. We ended up not going BC. My sister got really sick. The whole me being bi thing we won't get into BC. It feels a lot more personal, but yeah. I had hope until now that differences wouldn't be a big deal. Now, I'm not sure if my BF will ever be able to accept me as I am. I've sat on it a little and realized that it's not so much politics as it is empathy and values that are the issues. Long-lasting relationships have core values that align. Look like your core values do not align, and most likely, y'all are going to break up soon. In r/unexpected, Mitch McConnell holds a press conference.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Let's go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it.
Could you address what happened here at the start of the press conference, and was it related to your injury from earlier this year where you suffered a concussion? Is that
I'm fine.
you're fine? You're fully able to do your job?
Mr. Lear, can I just get your reaction?
Crazy to think you could be in the middle of a sentence and your brain just completely checks out for what felt like hours. Not a thought behind those droopy eyes. In r/no stupid questions, am I the only one confused on how TF people are buying $100,000, $125,000 cars and trucks and $600 $800K houses like it's nothing right now? Are people really getting paid that well, or are they just comfortable being in debt that far over their heads? It's become more normal to have $600 $800 a month car payments, which seems outrageous to me. In r/funny on the way to your friend's house for gaming in the 90s. Save some pussy for the rest of us. In r/unpopular opinion, sports bras are not appropriate standalone tops. They're bras. Super edit. I've been told it may be relevant. I am on the spectrum. Edit. TLDR. This isn't about skin. It's not about being revealing. It's not about boobs. Bras are underwear. That's IT, the top definition. The modern definition. Underwear, under. You wear IT under other clothes. Original. Don't know if I'm just getting old and don't remember things from when I was a kid. But when did everyone just start wearing sports bras and nothing else as tops? I could have sworn a decade ago they were worn exclusively underneath shirts, as they are bras. Sports bras, for sport support, as bras. They are a piece of clothing for support during sporting activities. They're bras. They're underwear. They go under a shirt. I see people go into restaurants in just a bra and yoga pants. We're not doing yoga. We're not exercising. I see them worn out to lunch, to get coffee, to clubs, and all I can think of is, why do you want to be in your underwear? Are you afraid of clothes? Are you an exhibitionist? Are you not embarrassed that you are in just a bra around regular people? They are designed to be as small and form-fitting as possible to keep the support during strenuous activities. They are inappropriate for 90% of situations, but I see them everywhere, daily. And before you say, wow, they're comfortable, if I ran around in just spandex boxers, I'm sure it would be great. Except I have some shame and would never ever consider that appropriate for a social setting. I'd wear shorts over it. Because it's underwear, but they're really cute. Yeah, because underwear is sexy. That's why you don't wear it without clothes. And that's what it is, underwear. It's a bra. It's in the name. Sports bras are just bras, and it's embarrassing that people treat them as regular outerwear clothes. When I was a lad growing up in the 80s, I remember teen girls wearing bikini tops and shorts or jeans during the summer. Hardly anyone complained since it was such a common occurrence. I don't see much of a difference between bikini tops and sports bras. In r/hole up, tits or ass. Dirk Diggler VET aka FORGORANTD. Do you guys think Christ was a boobs man or an ass man? To 49 a.m. to November 25th, 19. Twitter for iPhone 930 to retweet 6. 531 likes 19% raw. Dirk Diggler at Take Forbrant 16 HVQ. This isn't a disrespectful question, BTW. If you're Catholic, you believe Christ was fully human, fully divine. To deny that he had sexual temptations implies that he wasn't fully human, making you a blasphemer punishable by excommunication for most of history. Now answer, boobs or ass? On T148 on thy. Mary Magdalene had cake. In r/supers tonk, Rip Tiley. Ryan Cohen at Ryan Cohen. Tiley passed away today. She is the reason Chewy exists and her legacy lives forever. 7:42 p.m. to July 25th, 23 from Earth. Godspeed, Tiley. In r/cool guides, a cool guide to Catholic hierarchy. A1T6 to 2 equals. I don't fully understand the titles, so this was kind of useful. Actually, cardinals, archbishops, and bishops are not one over the other. They are all bishops. Cardinals and archbishops are just bishops with supplementary duties. They do not elect bishops, neither can they fire them. Only Pope does that. Source, CGPGREY. In r/unexpected, the situation in the Japanese city of Nara during a downpour. Wait until they figure out they outnumber us. In r/mildly infuriating, $220 to send my husband flowers to his office at work, even though I send him flowers all the time and it's always been $50. The equals J_ she'll bring you to his office. How much is a vase? $9 or $90? Just for a glass vase. Since you're sending him roses, it can't be in a glass vase, it must be porcelain, and our porcelain vase is $90 with delivery, okay. So what's my total? Last time I sent him flowers it was $50, now it's $90 just for a vase. Your total would be $220 with delivery and the vase included with water and flower care. I just sent my husband flowers a month ago. What changed? Read 12:07 p. and we have a minimum for our rose deliveries and we now require the porcelain vase. That's the we would rather not deliver these price. Pass. The end. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and hope to see you again tomorrow.